Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Beepin' Ballers. In my last video, I said I hoped that I wouldn't have to record, another negative video about the Korean national team. It hasn't even been 12 hours, but here we are. Ping-Pong Gate has swept over our Korean national team. There is so much to discuss, so much drama, so much toxicity. So let's jump right into it. Starting off, guys, the Sun broke this news. Spurs star Son Heung-min dislocated finger in ping pong bust-up with teammate on eve of South Korea's shock Asian Cup exit. And I'm sure observant fans, noticed this, that Son was playing with, his two fingers wrapped up against that game in Jordan. And then when he came back to play for Tottenham against Brighton, it was again still wrapped up. And we were wondering what happened. We never got an explanation. We just assumed that it was something that might have happened in training. But no, apparently it was a bust up among the players in the Korean national team. So the Sun further goes on to explain Sun Sport understands some of the younger members of the squad ate their dinner quickly so that they could enjoy a game of ping pong, but Starman Son, the captain of the national team, was unhappy with the players leaving early, with meals often used as a chance for team bonding. PSG ace Lee Kangin was among the younger members Son took issue with. After an exchange of words, an altercation broke out which left the Tottenham ace with a dislocated finger. A source told Sun Sport. The row erupted from nowhere. A few of the younger players ate very quickly and left the rest of the squad to play ping pong. Son asked them to come back and sit down when some disrespectful things were said to him. Within seconds, the row spilled into the dining area, and players were being pulled apart. Now, this was the first scoop by the Sun, but when it first broke, myself and a lot of Korean media and fans, we didn't really believe it. Why? Because it's the Sun. It's the worst news outlet in England, and it's often known for producing fabricated stories like this just to get some clicks. But just a couple of hours later, the Korean Football Association confirmed this news to the Korean media. Yonhap News was one of the first outlets to confirm the news, and they clarified, of course, the national team players, they do have dinner together the day before the game to strengthen unity. However, the day before the Jordan match, young players, and they name dropped three, Lee Kangin, Seo Ryung-woo, and Chung Woo-young, amongst others, ate early and played table tennis. They played table tennis noisily next to the other players who were eating dinner. Son tried to stop them, but they did not listen. Son got angry and grabbed Lee Kangin by the collar, and Lee Kangin swung his fist at Son Heung-min. Son dodged Lee's fist, but injured his finger while other players tried to stop the two players. Senior players, including Son, asked Jurgen Klinsmann to exclude Lee Kangin from the roster for the match against Jordan, as he had disrupted the team atmosphere. But Klinsmann did not accept this. And there is yet another clarification report. Guys, there's so much news coming out. I just wanted to record what we know right now. But Golgol Song, Seo Ho-jung, who's a very reputable football reporter in Korea, he corrected it. It was not a one-on-one fight between Son Heung-min and Lee Kangin. Several players were involved. Son's finger injury occurred while he was trying to stop the players from fighting. Son did not ask Klinsmann to exclude Lee Kangin from the starting list. Guys, where do we even begin? When has this ever happened, this publicly in the Korean national team? This is a big issue, a physical altercation, disrespect from the younger players to Son and the older players. You can tell how garbage and toxic the atmosphere is, not just amongst the Korean football community, but within the Korean national team as well. And Lee Kangin, sensing the gravity of this situation, he posted this lengthy apology on his Instagram story. I'll read it first in Korean and translate it in English. 안녕하세요, 이강인입니다. 지난 아시안컵 4강전을 앞두고 손흥민 형과 언쟁을 벌였다는 기사가 보도되었습니다. 언제나 저희 대표팀을 응원해주시는 축구팬들께 큰 실망을 끼쳐드렸습니다. 정말 죄송합니다. 제가 앞장서서 형들의 말을 잘 따랐어야 했는데 축구팬들에게 좋지 못한 모습을 보여드리게 되어 죄송스러울 뿐입니다. 저에게 실망하셨을 많은 분들께 사과드립니다. 축구 팬들께서 저에게 보내주시는 관심과 기대를 잘 알고 있습니다. 앞으로는 형들을 도와서 보다 더 좋은 선수, 보다 더 좋은 사람이 되도록 노력하겠습니다. And this was a translation from Football London. Good afternoon, this is Lee Kangin. There is an article about me having a dispute with Heung-Min before the semi-final of the Asian Cup. I am very sorry to disappoint football fans who were always supporting the South Korea international team. I'm so sorry. I should have been in the forefront and obeyed or listened to my senior brothers. But I'm sorry that I'm showing a bad side to football fans. I apologize to many of you who are disappointed in me. I am well aware of the interest and expectations football fans have of me. From now on, I will try to help my older brothers in order to become a better player and a better person. So guys, that's just the situation in a nutshell. And this is purely my own opinion and speculation of what the heck is going on with our national team. I think this is all from this man right here, Chung Mong-gyu. Let's very, very quickly recap what I just said in the past few minutes. Firstly, it's incredibly weird to me that The Sun, like I said, quite literally the worst tabloid in England, got the first scoop about our national team. When has any foreign outlet, let alone one as terrible as The Sun, gotten an exclusive story like this? Also, secondly, the KFA admitted the altercation happened literally 2 to 3 hours after the Sun's exclusive report. Where have they been the last 2-3 weeks? We've been pissed the last couple of weeks because there was no communication from anyone in the KFA. Chung Mong-gyu, he's been hiding. He knows how much scrutiny and criticism he's undergoing right now. He's been hiding. He doesn't attend any of the KFA meetings. He doesn't do any interviews. This man is the guy who should apologize. He's the president of the Football Association. If you ruined a tournament like this, you have to take responsibility, even if it's not your fault, and apologize to the Korean football fans who supported this team during the Asian Cup. But he's been nowhere to be seen. And the KFA, they haven't been answering any of the media's inquiries. But they're suddenly, awake to... It was like 5 a.m., 6 a.m. when this Sun story broke, in Korea time. And 7 a.m., 8 a.m., the story was confirmed and, articles were going out from Korean media. The KFA suddenly is, working well for this one scandal. That's a bit fishy to me. That smells rotten to me. It just doesn't really feel right. Now, what I think happened is, we know everyone in Korea, and I mean everyone. Football fans, YouTubers, they could be football fanatics, they could be casual fans, even politicians right now. They're criticizing Klinsmann and Chung Mong-gyu. What better way to deflect the criticisms than name drop two of your biggest football stars in a scandal like this? The media and YouTubers, we have no choice but to cover this story, which means less time criticizing Chung and Klinsmann. And also, I bet a lot of money that Chung was hoping that fans would blame this scandal for Korea's poor performance against Jordan. Something about the players not being united, there's being no chemistry. That's why we played poorly against Jordan. We look disorganized, blah, 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 blah. Now, I don't buy that for 1 second. It probably played some sort of factor, sure. If there's a scandal like this, if something like this happened, a skirmish, a fight, player morale is going to be down. But let's be honest with ourselves. We were terrible all tournament leading it into the game against Jordan. In our performance, it was more about the lack of tactics and ideas from Klinsmann, and also the fact that our players were gassed because Klinsmann played them for 100 minutes against Malaysia. We needed 120 minutes against Saudi Arabia and 120 minutes against Australia. This fight was a very, very, very minor role in why we played poorly against Jordan. And this guy right here, Chung, probably hoped that Korean fans would jump on this and say, oh, this is why we lost against Jordan, not because we have a useless, incompetent manager. Also, the KFA needs to wake up. It needs to have some shame because this is an utter disgrace right now. When a large group of people live together more than a month, like the Canty did in Qatar, there's going to be fights. It's tension-packed tournament. Guys, these are athletes. They're ultra competitive, and they probably have really big egos. That's how they got here in the first place. You need the confidence and honestly a little bit of ego to succeed at the highest stage in sports. And it's not like this is a KNT thing. You see fights like this happen everywhere in sports, in football, but in other sports as well. In the national team, we've seen it happen before. Look how much crazy scandals arise from the Brazilian national team each year. But again, there's two takeaways I want to take from this. One, it shows just again how incompetent Klinsmann is. He can't even babysit a team. We know he's stupid. We know he doesn't respect Korean football or fans. But you can't even do the one thing that you're supposed to be good at, which is create a good environment and create freedom and, just positive energy for the team. What can you do? This didn't happen once under Paulo Bento, by the way, guys. And it's already happened twice in Jurgen Klinsmann's tenure as Korean national team manager. Don't forget about the scandal between Heung-Min and Kim Min-jae when there was a bit of a fight there and Kim Min-jae unfollowed Sunny. It just shows there's no structure, no organization, no respect in this Korean national team because Klinsmann isn't even in Korea. He comes like once every 3 or 4 months for the international friendlies. He holds no respect nor authority in this national team. So there's nothing that's going to keep these big egos, these big players grounded. It's just a mess right now. And also, takeaway two, a football federation exists to protect its players. This happened. We can't change the past, but no big deal. You let the players figure it out on the training pitch, a one-on-one conversation, maybe even during a match. Something so simple as Lee Kangin assisting a Sunny goal and them celebrating together. And the situation is over. Players forget about it. But no, they confirmed this story and they left their players out to the wolves. If you guys see the comment section in Lee Kangin, Chung Woo-young, Oh Young-gyu, Seoryung-woo's Instagram post right now, it's a mess. Everyone is attacking them. Korean media are jumping on this. Why? Because the Korean Football Association, President Chung, wanted that to happen. He wanted to deflect the blame to the players, not taking any responsibility for the fact that this mess, this disaster, the sad state that Korean football is in right now, is his responsibility. Guys, what football player would want to represent Korea right now? I wouldn't. Play for an organization that sells you out to protect its president? Play for, if you're doing well in your club team, return to the national team in a toxic environment, play under a manager who has no tactics, and probably, not enjoy the football that you're playing because you don't know what football you're playing. Who's going to want to return to the national team right now? What are we doing here? Really? Where do we even go from here? This is the darkest era of Korean football that certainly I've witnessed. I started following Korean football, I guess, seriously in 2010 maybe, when I was 10 years old, but even then I don't really remember much. But in the 14 years, 15 years since then, I think this is the darkest, the lowest point we've been. And there's one solution. There's one simple solution. You fire Klinsmann and you fire Chung Mong-gyu. But more importantly, Chung Mong-gyu is the one that has to go. My partner for PB Ballers, Albert, he said, and I agree with him, Klinsmann is a symptom of the disease that is Chung Mong-gyu. The corruption, the incompetence, the arrogance from that man, that's how we hired Jurgen Klinsmann. If Chung Mong-gyu doesn't go, this is going to repeat all over again. It's just going to be Klinsmann, but with a different name. Maybe even a different ethnicity. But it doesn't matter. We're not going to go anywhere until we fire our president, get someone who actually loves Korean football and respects the fans and genuinely wants Korean football to succeed. That does not treat Korean football as a business. We are in a lot of trouble right now. I don't know what to do. But we have to take responsibility. Like I said in, the video after the Jordan match, we can't, sulk on the sadness and the craziness of the situation. We got to keep fighting. We got to keep raising our voices until Chung is gone. And that's what's best for Korean football. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully it was a little bit informative. Make sure to like and subscribe to Bibbing Ballers. I'm sure there's going to be so many stories and updates, not only on this saga, but on the future of Jurgen Klinsmann and Cho Mong-yu. We'll definitely be there to cover that. Thank you guys again, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.